PepsiCo just found out there actually is a limit to what people will pay. And looks like $7 for a bag of Doritos is that limit. PepsiCo has missed their revenue target by over $1 billion a year because people aren't buying chips. They considered price cuts, but were too greedy to pull the trigger. So major retailers like Walmart started dropping them. And now PepsiCo is panicking, planning to walk back prices by 15%. But we aren't dumb enough to think that's a deal. That's still $6.50 for a bag of Doritos. Companies have been testing us for years. Oh, inflation, we have to raise prices. And I guess it worked for a while, but people have officially had enough. And right now, we got PepsiCo by the ball.
So PepsiCo said sales are down and they have lost millions. PepsiCo is the company that produces Doritos and Pringles and a lot of your salty snacks that you buy in the supermarket. People are not buying PepsiCo products. People are not buying the Doritos and the Fritos and the Lays, and people are not buying all those snacks anymore. Due to consumers not purchasing those items, they lost millions and millions and millions.
A bag of Doritos used to be $3. Now it's closer to $7. The company that makes them just lost $1 billion over it, twice. Here's what's happening. According to Bloomberg, Frito-Lay got so addicted to rising prices that it couldn't stop, even as its own shelves started emptying out. Now they control nearly 60% of the US salty snack market, and for over a decade, the mandate was simple: grow revenue 5% every year forever. Then the pandemic hit, and like everyone else, their parent company PepsiCo started raising prices. Consumers barely flinched, so they kept going. By 2022, prices were up 20% year over year, but they still kept going. So Walmart started cutting their shelf space. According to insider reports, nobody wanted to be the one who blinked. They tried shrinkflation, promotion, smaller multi-packs. Nothing worked. By the time a new division head finally declared prices had to come down, they'd missed internal revenue targets by over $1 billion for the second year in a row. Now this matters because this isn't just some chip story. It's what happens when a company mistakes pricing power for consumer loyalty. Surprisingly, most people are actually on the same page here. 42% of consumers were already buying fewer snacks because of the price. In response, PepsiCo and Frito-Lay started rolling back prices. So the central debate isn't whether these cuts were needed, it's whether this is enough, leading some shoppers to put it pretty bluntly online. A 50-cent rollback on a bag that jumped nearly 50% isn't a correction, it's a press release. PepsiCo's CEO says he'll know by summer if the rollbacks are working. So here's the big question. Have you changed what you buy in the chip aisle, and would a small price drop bring you back? Let us know in the comments.
See why Frito-Lay lost a whole ton of money? There's the Aldi price for actual Doritos. Here's the Aldi brand price. $4 different. I'm gonna go with the Aldi.
PepsiCo just got a master class on what happens when you price gouge your customers. Between 2021 and 2024, Pepsi increased the price of Doritos 50%. That means a bag of Doritos could cost you up to $7. Yes, you heard that right, $7 for a bag of flavored air and vibes during a time with extremely high inflation for everyday Americans. And what was the response from consumers? They just stopped buying Doritos altogether. Grocery stores started pulling them off the shelves due to low demand, and Pepsi lost $1 billion. This is what happens when companies think brand loyalty equals blind loyalty. This comes at the same time that the CEO of Pepsi last year said that deregulation by Donald Trump was a good thing for the company, and people are getting used to high prices. Pepsi had to learn the hard way that consumers will absolutely break up with their favorite snacks over greed, and that arrogance cost them over $1 billion.
Here's some good news for your wallet. The price of your favorite snacks could soon be going down. Yeah, PepsiCo makes brands like Doritos, Lay's, and Cheetos. Well, it's slashing prices, and it's all in response to customer complaints. The CEO saying they recognize customers are feeling a financial pinch right now, so price cuts up to 15% are meant to ease that pressure. You should start seeing lower prices this week. Now, PepsiCo says retailers still set the final shelf prices, so your savings might vary store to store.
Funny how prices only come down when we stop buying it. So now PepsiCo all of a sudden wants to be reasonable. After raising prices upwards of 50% over the last 4 years, now they want to do a price cut by 15%. Oh, so now y'all want to act right, huh? Okay. See, I stopped buying snacks like Doritos and Cheetos a long time ago. I'm not going to pay $7 for a bag of air and just a handful of chips. I'm not doing it because at that point, basically, it's just oxygen with seasoning. And that's when I discover something. Those generic snacks, oh, they be hitting. Don't let that fancy bag fool you with the name brand stuff because them store brands are the business. They be out here quietly doing the Lord's work. And what you realize with this reduction in prices, companies only change course when the money stops. So you raise the prices, people adjust, and now you losing money. And then suddenly you want to offer a deal. See, if you raise prices by 50%, but then you cut prices by 15%, it's not really a deal. That's like punching somebody in the face and then offering them an ice pack. So yeah, they're cutting prices on Doritos, Cheetos, Tostitos, Lay's, and other snacks. But honestly, we already found cheaper alternatives, so I think we good. So I gotta ask y'all, what is so expensive that you just stop buying it altogether? For me, Doritos, Cheetos, I've been stopped buying. I am never paying $7 for crunchy air again.
Takeaway from PepsiCo losing over $50 billion in the last 2 years in market value because they priced themselves out of the chips business by selling $7 Doritos was that they didn't listen. They didn't listen to consumers who decided not to buy their products. And they knew this because for 2 years consecutively, they missed their internal sales projections by $1 billion year over year. But also, Walmart was screaming this to them for the past year, saying, hey, consumers are pulling back. They're not buying your products. We're reducing our shelf space for you. They knew, so they can't plead ignorance. However, it is unfortunately the dilemma that companies that are publicly traded face. They have to appease shareholders every quarter. But if you're trying to appease shareholders every quarter by chasing some aggressive, ambitious, idealistic growth plan every 3 months, quarter by quarter, at some point you are going to alienate the biggest stakeholder you have, your customer. Let me know if you agree, disagree.
Like, I feel like PepsiCo company, they hurt your own company. Prices of their products are just way too high, and they started giving us less product for higher prices, and they fill their bags up with air, and they expect us to adjust to it and go and buy it. And so when prices are high like that, and the item, like the product that we are giving to us, is not even, the portions are not enough, people are just going to walk away. They're not going to spend the money with you. They're going to find other alternatives. They're going to buy generic brands. How can Aldi make it that affordable and you cannot? Like, how? It doesn't even make sense. Like, yours shouldn't be 100 times the price of a store brand. Like, how? How are they able to make it affordable and you cannot? It doesn't make sense. Now that you guys are losing money and you guys have lost a lot of money, you decided to reduce price by 15%. What is that going to do? What is that going to do? We are not coming back to purchase your item just because a snack of Doritos went down 50 cents or 75 cents. It's still $6 and some change. We are not coming back to purchase. We are going to buy what we are used to now, like this generic brand. So, but I just kind of feel like people are aware. People are aware now, and we are cutting back a lot of things. Especially like snacks. It's just snacks. It's not like food. I can live without snack. So you guys need to make your stuff affordable. Make it affordable. That's all. But anyways, let me know what you think about this story down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.